This is PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Trevor's tested waters help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Trevor's tested waters help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you eat.
Hey guys, it's me Travis with PlayerProps.ai. This is what we're looking at for our Monday games. But quickly, before we do that, let's tell you something and remind you about something that's very important to you, the person watching this show right now. Why are you watching this show? Because you're somebody who wants to have more money than what they started with at the beginning of the day. You know what you do when you want more money? You join 100% free to enter giveaways. $5,000 in cash and prizes are going to be given away to a handful of you when this contest closes in 5 days. It will make you look very, very silly to the rest of the world for knowing that a $5,000 cash and prizes giveaway existed and you never threw your hat into the ring. If you don't want to feel dumb and silly, it's very simple. In the next 5 days, you probably should do it today so you don't forget. You simply go to PlayerProps. I don't even know how my home website's giving me a tongue twister. You go to PlayerProps.ai/giveaway. So you're on your mobile device, you're on your desktop, your PC, your laptop, doesn't matter. Your MacBook, don't care. Open up your favorite browser. Is it Google Chrome? Is it Safari? Is it Firefox? Is it Netscape, Navigator, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge? I don't care. You open up all of them and you type in the search bar, PlayerProps.ai/giveaway, and that will give you the giveaway page, which you can enter 100% for free. It literally costs you $0 and 0 pennies, but I'm still giving you $5,000 in cash and prizes, even though you're not paying me a single cent. That is what makes you look ridiculous if you don't enter this. And I've been saying this for the last 3 months, and it closes on Friday. 5 more days. So make sure that you take care of business and you don't make yourself look stupid by not entering a $5,000 cash and prizes giveaway. On the screen, as you see, this is something we first mentioned on Friday, but for the people who completely ignored me, fast forwarded, or didn't pay attention to the show at all, we launched a brand new free week pass. We were doing a day pass for a little bit, where you could have full access for 24 hours, but what we realized is that 24 hours isn't really enough for you to learn how to use the app, how it's designed, which means not how you're probably using it, but how you should be using it. If you're not having success, there's chances are you're not listening to the guidelines, and the guidelines are explained in every video that we do, and it's explained in the Discord. Also, one thing, if you're already a premium member and you're not in the Discord, you're not really a premium member. There are people that sign up for premium and they're never in the Discord, and it blows my mind because we explain to you what goes on in the Discord. There are 17,000 people in the Discord. The premium members work together every single day. They take screenshots of what they find from the PlayerProps.ai premium access on the app, and they're like, hey, this is what I'm looking at today. What do you guys think? And it's just a big, it's the most helpful sports betting community on the planet, and it's also the most welcoming. There are no trolls. There's nobody going to make fun of you. There's no such thing as dumb questions. Everybody is there to help each other, which is why it grows at such a quick rate, because it's very friendly and very helpful, very welcoming. So if your skill set for sports betting is a 0 on a scale of 1 to 10, don't worry about it. Join, ask questions, and as long as you never stop asking questions, you'll always be doing better than before you joined. But anyway, we did a day pass, but after doing a day pass for a few months, I was realizing that with like the intro videos that you guys need to watch, and kind of learn how the channels of how everything works in Discord, I was like, we should make it go to 7 days. Let's do a free 7 days instead of a day pass. So now we have what we just launched on Thursday, a week pass that is free. How is it free? You see on the screen. So what you do is you sign up for the week pass, which you can only get on the site. You can't get on the iOS Apple app because Apple's stupid and they don't allow things like this. So you go to the website, PlayerProps.ai. That's what you type in your browser. And then when you go to sign up, you go to this week pass if you want it anyway. You can go straight to signing up for the monthly, but if you want to try it out, you can do that as well. $25 gives you the week pass. If you upgrade to monthly within those 7 days, we will give you that $25 back. So essentially, you don't pay any pennies whatsoever. If you try it out for a week, understand, oh, this is why everybody in the world is signing up for this, because it makes sense, it's helpful, there's so many things that explain how to use it, so I'm never lost and I'm never by myself, because there's 17,000 people in Discord helping me understand what to look for and help me to win on a daily basis. And so when you upgrade within those first 7 days to monthly, then your first month is $25 off because we've credited that back to your account. So hopefully that makes sense, how I'm explaining anyway, but if not, you see it on the screen. Sign up. When you upgrade to monthly, you just get that amount back. So it's like you never paid anything in the first place for that week trial. And so for the people that have been premium and been printing cash the entire MLB season with us, this is what you tell your friends. Hey, you know all the winning screenshots I've shown you where I've won thousands of dollars this MLB season, or tens of thousands of dollars, or hundred thousands of dollars, depending on what your bankroll is. Go to PlayerProps.ai/weekpass, send you to this here, and send your friends to this, because this is a no-brainer scenario. There's nobody on the planet that's actually serious about winning that wouldn't sign up for this, that hasn't had a chance to try the app out yet anyway. And if you don't sign up for this, that shows to you that you're telling yourself that you're not actually serious about sports betting. If you can't do a free $25 fully refunded complimentary day pass or week pass, then you're not serious about taking sports betting to the next level, which means you probably should stop betting in general. But anyway, that's just that. You have 5 days left to enter the no-brainer $5,000 cash and prizes giveaway, and then you now have a 7-day long free week pass. The only other thing I was going to mention before we get into actually the research side of things is unrelated to sports betting. If you guys have been paying attention to the last few shows, the MRI on my shoulder, which I got like 2 weeks ago, we found out last week, I think on Monday or Tuesday of last week, I think it was Monday last week, that I actually tore my labrum in my right shoulder. And I find out today, literally 3 hours after recording this, if surgery is inevitable or if I can actually work through it through physical therapy. So if I find out in 3 hours that surgery is inevitable, we're going to, of course, have to have surgery, and you're going to see me in a sling for the next X amount of months. So, we'll see what happens. You got to psych yourself out for stuff like that, because that's some serious, crazy things. Only being able to use your left hand. I've actually, I don't know. I'm right-handed, so we're going to see what happens. I'm not looking forward to it. It's what I'm trying to get to. So anyway, all we've been doing for Thursday and Friday's show is we're finding things for Won a Parlay. If you're not in one of these purple states here, or I can make it easier for you. Here's a bigger map. If you're not in a purple state, you can still put these things on your preferred book. But if you are in a purple state, you are literally punching yourself in the face and shooting yourself in the foot simultaneously by not entering these in, because you're already giving a free $250 deposit match. So if you see a state that looks like the one that you live in and it is purple, if you're colorblind, I think it's the lighter shade of gray. I'm not sure. If you're colorblind, please let me know if you can't see this here. But the lighter color, which is a lighter purple, those are the states that you can get the $250 deposit match. How do you do that? You may be asking. Well, let me just do this real quick. Pop, 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 pop. This is how. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. And there we go. And there. That was not a smooth transition as I wanted it to be. Wannaparlay.online. You know that same thing I just told you about going to your mobile browser and typing in the PlayerProps.ai/giveaway. That same exact thing I just told you to do is the same thing you do here for Won a Parlay. You go to wannaparlay.online. So again, if you're a Netscape Navigator fan from the 1990s and you haven't upgraded your browser, you can still do it. Wannaparlay.online. And then just make sure that if you want the free $250 deposit match, use promo code PlayerProps. And if you don't, that means you don't it's a no-brainer. Nobody else does a $250 deposit match in any of those purple states for fantasy apps. So let's find something we like for today. We are on a very crazy streak of profit, and we're going to keep that going on Monday, whether the sports betting gods want us to or not. So what are we going to focus on here? We're going to focus on what we always focus on. We're going to start with pitching strikeouts. And remember, because Won a Parlay is in the non-sports betting states, you do essentially have to lock in two things. And so we're going to look at two things to potentially lock in. And if there's not two things we're in love with, maybe we'll do a third one. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if there's any over trifectas. And nope. Any under trifectas. And nope. So is there anything that's worth looking at? No, 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 nope, nope. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's anything over that makes sense. This is interesting. So when you go under, you want the highest line possible, right? 5.5 is higher than normal. Normal lines are 4.5. On average, strikeout lines are 4.5. So Trevor Rogers has a higher than average line for his under. The problem is that Boston is top 4 in the entire league in most strikeouts for the season, but they've just been striking out a lot less in the last 3 games. That probably means that Devers was responsible because he's not on the team anymore. But he has hit 6 strikeouts in 3 of his last 3 games, one of them being an 8K game. I don't want to have Boston have one of those amazing games here where it makes sense why they're 4th most in the league. This crazy difference sometimes we'll look at, but I'm not in love with this. But if we do look at the head-to-head, he did versus Boston this season. He actually didn't allow any runs. He got a full 87 pitches in 6.1 and still only got 5 strikeouts. And that was May 24th, which was almost 2-3 months ago. So that's interesting. What is his pitch count going? 95, 104, 88. Okay, so he's allowed to get into the 90s. He even had 104 pitches here against Philadelphia 2 days ago, or two starts ago. I'm not in love with it, but I don't even think I'm in love with it to be part of a 3 option. For everybody that's going under Spencer Strider, congratulations, you played yourself, because there's a rule in the MLB ban list channel that's available to 100% of people on planet Earth. The rule says we don't go under strikeout props. Again, actually, there's 2 rules in the ban list. The first rule says we don't go under strikeout props against Chicago White Sox. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is that we don't go under strikeout props on aces. And even though Spencer Strider hasn't became the ace of the past since he returned from injury, it's still good to note that he still is technically an ace, and we don't go over strikeout props. Let me make sure Chicago White Sox is on there. Yeah, under pitcher props in general. So even not even strikeouts. We don't go under pitcher props against Chicago White Sox. And we don't go under pitcher props when they are aces. And Spencer Strider is an ace, which is, of course, why he has a 7.5 line in general. We see there's green here and red here, green here, red here. We're definitely not going to go under on Brady Singer, who he's versing the most strikeout-friendly team this season and the most strikeout-friendly team in the last 3. Now, this reminds me of something that I say in Discord, that a lot of you people that still don't care enough to try harder and listen to me and still light your money on fire, there are always 3 options. Always 3 options to every single bet. There's option A, there's the other side of the bet, which is option B, and then option C is fading the bet. And if you're asking yourself, Travis, what does fading mean? It means don't do anything with that bet. So I know there's going to be people who see Brady Singer and they go, oh man, even though the AI says under, and Travis says he's not going to play it because of this, that means, that of course means to go over 5.5. No, it doesn't. It means we don't touch it. Just because I don't like one side, it does not mean playing the other side. Stop shooting yourself in the foot and lighting your money on fire. Fading is part of betting. Do you know what happens when you fade? You don't lose any money. Do you know what happens when you blindly bet the other side? You tend to lose money. So how about we not lose money and just don't touch it at all? So today's games, there doesn't seem to be anything that is strikeout friendly. We do have, when we switch to DraftKings here to see different lines, even though moneylines.online doesn't have a 3.5 line, we also see another ban list. We don't go over strikeout props for pitchers that are versing Kansas City. So the only over strikeout is a ban listed one. Is there any under trifectas? No. Just check FanDuel real quick. Just look at other lines. You can't change lines on Parlay, but it doesn't matter anyway, because the only trifecta in general on any of the apps right now seems to be just the ban listed Brady Singer over Kansas City strikeouts. So let's look at something else. Is there any no run first inning trifectas? There is one. So guess what? On moneylines.online, you can do no run first inning bets, Nerfy bets. This means No run first inning, NRFI. What does that mean? It means after the first inning, no team has scored a single run. Even though Texas Kansas City has a higher no run first inning grade, NRFI grade, it is not a trifecta, because one of the things that is part of the trifecta is that both pitchers are on a 3 streak or higher, which means in the last 3 starts they've had, they did not allow a run. When Michael Waka Waka has a 1 here, what does that mean? That means 2 starts ago, his opponent scored a run in the first inning. And then, but Jack here has 5 starts in a row where he hasn't allowed a run. Then we go down here to this trifecta, right? How do we know it's a trifecta? Because it's already built in, and because it literally says trifecta. But what are one of the things we look for? The fact that it is 5 here, which is the 3 or higher, and it's 11 here for Ranger, 11 or higher. So this would be a trifecta. So that's one thing that we can lock in, but that doesn't count as a player prop. And if you remember on the prop apps, Parlay.online being the one that we're playing here today, you have to have at least one player prop in that slip. So if this is our not player prop, let's find something that is one, which means we have to go back to the predictor. We have to find a player prop. We have to. We know we have we can't do hits, runs, RBIs. We've been crushing a lot of the hits allowed for the pitchers. I think we had an amazing day yesterday for pitcher props. So let's look at the hits allowed. So let's see here. We have so the rule is to not go under against aces or under against Chicago White Sox, and this is technically an overplay, but we're still betting that he's gonna have a worse performance than his line. So this is technically, it's not an under, but it's in the same sphere, the same realm, because we're betting on him to go to be a little bit worse than his line suggests. But it seems like he's been giving up 5 hits or more a lot. 4 straight games. Milwaukee 11 hits, 8 hits. Man. Okay, so he has a crazy strikeout rate. So we're not worried about strikeouts though. We're worried about his average. He's not really allowing that much of an average. This is actually a really good average against lefties, sub 200. And then 245 is just average. Average for average. But 4 in a row, 7, 11, 8, and he only has to get 5 here against the White Sox. Do we think the White Sox can get 5 on him? The AI thinks so. The sportsbooks think so. Yeah, so he hasn't versed Chicago White Sox this season. And he missed all of last season with that injury. I don't know. We're going to have to keep that in the back pocket. Is there anybody else? Oh, this is something we always bet. I always see everybody in the Discord loving to go over earned runs and over hits and stuff for Jack. So Jack was an elite pitcher that got traded at a trade deadline a season or 2 ago to Detroit. And ever since, he has been a pretty bad pitcher. He's starting off great, and then he always just tanks like 3 innings in. So 4.5, the same line as Spencer. Projections over, but only by 0.5. But you see here, like, consistently, last 2 games, 8 hits. He even gave up 8 hits against Chicago White Sox at Spencer's versing. But yeah, if we just look back to the last 10. Let's look at ERA. So it looks like the sportsbooks favor the under on the ERA. Houston, I believe, is not a strikeout friendly team, so they're usually a contact team. Jack's a right-handed pitcher, and he's versing a very right-handed team. So yeah, like you can look at his K rates, like, oh, he's got great K rates, but Houston doesn't really strike out too much. How do we know that? Because we can go to here, or go back to Jack. Hold on. Come on. We go to strikeouts. We'll go to Jack, who is on Detroit, 6:40 p.m. So perennially, over the course of the entire season, they don't strike out a lot. They're 8th least in strikeouts. But recently, the 3rd most Houston is. But we're not touching strikeouts. I don't even know if, I mean, I guess you can consider Jack an ace. A 6.5 line kind of dictates the fact that he's an ace, but he's like Garrett Crotchet Rocket, where he can like mow people down 7, 9, 8, 7, 6, 7, 7, but he can mow people down, but he'll still give up a lot of runs and hits. I think it's more likely for him to allow 5 hits than it is for him to allow 3 runs. So if you look at the head-to-head, he only versed Houston once in the last, I think, like 365 days. So that's why he gave up 4 runs against Houston. Gave up 6 hits against them. He only has to give up 5 here. I think that's maybe where we're leaning here with our player prop.
A few moments later.
So originally, when I pulled up on a parlay.online, pulled up the app for you guys, the original goal was to go for hits allowed, but as I was pulling it up, I reminded myself that the outs has also hit pretty well for for this app on the hits allowed. So I think let's focus on outs, because I don't want to go hits allowed, and I know that those 2 technical aces is essentially breaking the ban list, where I know it's not going under, but we're betting on them to have a worse performance than what the line dictates. So I wanted to scrap that idea, and I wanted to focus on outs. So we need a player prop for pitching outs. So remember, 17.5. So if you see a 14.5 or a 17.5, remember there are 3 outs in an inning. If he goes over 17.5, that means he finishes the 6th inning before getting pulled, because 6 innings times 3 outs, that equals 18 outs. So that's how that works. So you're saying that he's going to be going at least full 6 innings. If you see it says 14.5, I know this says 15.5, but in general, 14.5, that means they're going to not get pulled before the end of the 5th inning. They're going to pitch at least 5 full innings. And then 15.5 means they get 5.1 innings, 16 outs before getting pulled. But it looks like... 18.5 is quite the line. 19 outs. So we already said that 18 outs is 6 innings, right? So to get 19, he has to go 6.1 innings. And it seems like it's not crazy, because he looks like he goes pretty deep. 21 outs here. You see the 21 line? That is a full 7 innings. So 7, 6, 7, 7, 7, 7.1 or 7.2. So it looks like he had a pretty good streak from like mid-May till about end of June. But then July and August kind of got a little wonky, where he's not been that consistent. Against the Reds in his last start, only got 16. So he was pulled at 5.1. And this is just saying if we go under here, that he's not going to go 6.1. So if we want him to get pulled at the latest after he finishes the 6th inning. We do not want him to see the 7th inning. He's versing Seattle, who have a pretty even righty-lefty split. What's interesting to note, so we have this is kind of showing us the lines and everything that somebody has. This is the projections besides outs. Well, actually includes outs, but it has everything else. And if it's red, that means it's less than their last 10-game average. So over the last 10 games, he's averaged 2.6 runs, but he's projected at 2.25. So he's projected at slightly less strikeouts than his average, less runs, less hits, more walks than his average, and then less outs. He averages 18.6 outs over his last 10 games, which, of course, is kind of where his line came from, 18.5 here. And I know we have a rule that we don't go under strikeouts against pitchers versus Seattle. But he's been kind of This is also interesting as well. And so we were already looking, this kind of goes with my don't go under on aces thing. He's got a lot more red though. A lot more red than Ranger. And when he versed Houston, he got pulled after 5. So 17.5. 6 times 3, 18. So this means he's not going to get a full 6 innings. He's going to get pulled before the 6th. Man. Do I have more faith in Houston bats or in Seattle bats? Let's find out. Team trends. Runs? The last 3 games, we're looking at Seattle and Houston. Seattle's in the middle of the pack here. 5 runs on average in the last 3. Houston, 1.67 runs in the last 3. What is wrong with this team? So Seattle's actually scored more runs on average than... Yeesh. Yeah, they're 11th most average on the season. And then... Are they home or away here? Let me check real quick. They're away. So away, they actually score more runs away than they do at home. Almost 5 here. So if we sort by away, they're 4th most. They score the 4th most runs in the league as an away team. 11th most over the season. But we're not betting on him allowing runs. We're betting on him allowing hits. So if we go to hits, where's Seattle? 17th most in the last 3. They're, what is this? 8th? And then again, you see here, the away, they get about 9.32 hits on average. But, man, I think Jack is going to get pulled before throwing a full 6. I think that's... Oh, no, not Jack, because we're looking at Seattle. Ranger Suarez, he's going to get pulled. He can throw a full 6. He just won't get 6.1 outs is what we're looking at. Yeah, so we did a little back and forth, but the point is that we're focusing on something that we like the most. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Wanna Parlay, and then we're going to go here to Seattle game. We're going to click on see player picks. We're going to go to pitching, outs recorded. Ranger Suarez, 18.5. We're going to say that he's going to get less than that. Now, what is the number we see here? 2.84. That's pretty close to 3, but it's not 3. So if you remember what we did on Thursday and Friday show that worked for us, is what we do is we go to the games, player picks, and we go to over under home runs. We can actually do under home runs on wannaparlay.online. What we're looking for here for the number that says over the over, so 13, 14, we're looking at a number between 10 and 15, and then we're clicking that they're not going to get a home run. So Blake's not going to get a home run, Brandon's not going to get a home run, and then you see here it hits the 3.00 minimum, which is why I went green. But what we realize is that if we do as close to 3.00 as possible, if one of these players don't start in their game, it'll go under 3. We'll still make profit like we did on Friday, but it won't be the full triple up. So if we go, for example, let's just say we find somebody. So Nick right here, who we've played before, he's at between the 10 and the 15. He's tap under, and he goes to 3.22. So essentially, what that does is if Brandon doesn't start, you see it's still 0.3. If Blake doesn't start, it's still 3.0, not 3.3. Or it's still 3.0 is what I'm trying to say. So we have those 5. And then something else I was going to mention. This is something I mentioned in Discord. It's in the WP for Wanna Parlay, WP-MLB channel. If we're going to go back real quick, you can actually see who has the least amount of home run projection. So it's like the opposite of a home run predictor. It's a not home run predictor. So you go under here and you see that all of these guys have a 0.01. What you want to do is you want to look for some, oh, I'm not even showing you the right screen. Hold on. There we go. So we have home runs selected. You see, oh, no. Home runs. And we have under selected here. The projection is 0.01. So what you want to do is you want to find a hitter with 0.01 but has the best odds. So minus 5,000 is the craziest odds. So in this screen right here, minus 1,000 is the best. So Jordan Walker. So essentially, when you go to wannaparlay.online, you want to kind of look for those. For my example, I just picked 3 from this particular game, but when you're adding more and more, you kind of want to use the PlayerProps.ai home run under predictor to kind of play with things. Actually, now that I say that, let's just check something real quick. Just for argument's sake, I'm going to kind of back up what I just said. So we're going to unselect these 3, right? So I'm glad we did that and we showed you. So previously, when we just went to that Chicago Cubs game, we picked 3 players and they had, we had to choose 3 players and essentially we had to choose all 3 of them to do the, to hit the 3.0. But because we used the home run predictor and we found somebody that had a 0.01 projection with the best odds, which was minus 1,000, which again, going to this screen here, you see he's got minus 1,000, which is better odds than minus 2,000 and minus 5,000. And I mean, there's another good one here, minus 909. So you want to find the best odds. And because we just did, and we clicked under, so it's not part of our, it's not part of this here. So this over is 7.5. It's not part of that 10 to 15, but because the under home run predictor said, hey, Jordan Walker, he's got a 0.01 projection, lock him in. We only had to put 1 home run play. So we're not risking the fact that 3 random crappy home run hitters is going to hit a bomb like it did for me on Friday or Saturday for something else I put together. I think I did like 13 out of 14, and the one that I missed, there was just a bunch of under home run plays. The one I missed was freaking, Rocchio of the Guardians, who hit his 2nd home run of the season. But because we used the under home run predictor, we only had to choose 1 now. So we click OK, go to confirm. So we have under Jordan Walker, he's not going to hit home run today. There's not going to be a run in the Seattle Philly game. And Ranger Suarez is going to not get 19 outs or more. So now we go to the bottom, we see how much money we want to put in. What I've been doing on the show is 50. It's all relative to your bankroll. Please do not do more than your bankroll allows. But for the sake of this, I'll just do the even number, round it up to 100, and then click tap create parlay here. Please, you need to pay attention to the 20-80-20 rule. Do not put 100 if that's not part of your bankroll. And then, I mean, what you can also do. No, I don't think it'll let you do that. I was gonna try to think of something else, but no. I'm trying to remember like the rules of what you can and can't do. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, it's as simple as that. There's 14 hours left until this contest ends. If there's any questions whatsoever and you live in a purple state, please, for the love of all that's holy, simply get your promotion of the $250 deposit bonus. If you live in a purple state, you need to do this. Go to wannaparlay.online. Use promo code PlayerProps. That $250 deposit match will not last forever, and you only get it once. So A, take advantage of it, and B, don't waste it. Do not deposit $10. You will waste your $250 deposit match. Figure out how much money you can afford to lose. Move some bankroll from some other apps into it. You don't have to put all your bankroll if you don't want to. Just move it to there so you can maximize that $250 match. If you have any questions about this, there's a channel in Discord now. It's WP-General. It's on all the Wanna Parlay section. There's a literal section that has sports-specific Wanna Parlay questions and chat with all the people. It's free. All of those channels are free, by the way. You can see what everybody else is doing on Wanna Parlay for free. Get in the Discord. But there's a channel if you have questions about the app, not about like what to do on the app, but about the app itself. Look for the WP General channel. That's for questions about the app. But guys, good luck. We're going to keep the streak going. And yeah, we'll see what happens with my shoulder scenario. We'll let you know. Good luck.